The first campaign that I got involved with was one to support open access publication in the literature so that you didn't have to pay to read the science that in general the public had paid for with their taxes. That's taken a long time to come to fruition, but we're getting very close now to having that bear fruition. And I got a lot of laureates who all supported me. They all thought it was good. And then we started doing a bunch of other things. And I've run about 50 different Nobel Laureate campaigns now. Well, I mean, I tell you, my philosophy is if you see something that needs doing and you can do something about it, do it. If there's nothing you can do about it, don't worry about it.
Please join me to warmly welcome Sir Richard Roberts.
I think most of the life scientists will know that Dr. Richard Roberts is the discoverer of intron, and that changed the whole concept of molecular biology. But for me, I'm very impressed by one paper he published about 10 years ago in 2015. I think it's in PLOS Computational Biology. And the title is 10 Easiest Way to Win a Nobel Prize. And rule number one is don't even think about it. So I'm sure you'll enjoy his very insightful ideas about science and GMO in particular. Thank you very much.
Now, you know, one of the things that's happening at the moment is that climate change is really devastating life as we know it. For instance, greenhouse gas emissions are a major problem. It turns out there is a lady in Sheffield who's been working out how to engineer crops so that they will suck the CO2 out of the atmosphere. And if we took all of the world's crops at the moment that we grow and used some genetically modified crops, we could go a long way to removing CO2 and methane from the atmosphere. But for the 800 million people who go to bed hungry every night, food is the medicine they need. They're not looking for antibiotics, they're not looking for heart transplants, they just need food. 800 million people go to bed hungry every night. It's hard to believe. And this was what made me get involved in this whole movement. Well, I went to a meeting celebrating Mark van Montague's birthday in Ghent. I sat for a day listening to biologists, agricultural people in Belgium, in Europe, talking about how difficult it was to do good agricultural research in Europe because of the anti-GMO spread. And at the end of the day, the following day, I had to go to the European Commission to give a talk, supposedly about the future of medicine, but instead I talked about the topic that food is medicine, and I talked about GMOs instead. And I had a very good reaction from an Italian senator who said she changed her mind about GMOs, and the staff members for a number of the other senators said they'd never heard what I was saying before, and they thought I should say it more often. And I decided I was going to do something about it. So I talked to some of my Nobel friends. We decided we were going to put together a Nobel campaign to promote the use of GMOs because the developing world needs them. But there are still plenty of anti-GMO people that have gone into the developing countries and talked to politicians there and convinced them that they shouldn't take up GMOs. And so what I've been doing is talking to as many influential people as I can, and I'm trying to get to talk to the Pope at the moment, because I think good words from some religious leaders could have a big impact because they have a very broad following.
How would you tell people who are afraid of eating GMO food, who think eating GMO food is a catastrophe? Use one word to tell them. It is okay to eat GMO food, except calling your name, of course. It is okay to eat GMO food.
Let me answer that by citing an example. I was giving a talk in a library one time, and one of the ladies in the audience said, I hear what you say, and I realize that GMOs are probably okay, but the idea of eating a GMO, a plant that has a fish gene in it, strikes me as not something I want to do. And so I asked her, well, do you ever eat fish and chips? Do you ever eat, salad with fish? And when you do that, don't you realize that the genes get mixed in your stomach? And that's perfectly okay, is it? And she agreed that was okay. So, you have to sort of find examples and use examples that people can, they can understand fairly easily. And if there's a specific concept that they want to say, they explain it. You don't just mention the concept and then move on as though everybody will understand it. So explaining it. Acronyms are something that it's a good thing to avoid, because acronyms, some people understand them, some don't. So every time I talk about GMOs, I talk about genetically modified organisms so that people know what the acronym means. I always give my students something I call the grandmother's test. And the grandmother's test is you should go home, talk to your grandmother, and tell her what you do in the lab every day. And do it in words that she will understand. And you test whether you've been successful, because if you're successful, your grandmother can go out and tell all her friends how smart you are. Let me tell you, I like to use this example for people who are not scientists or people who are in disciplines other than science, to give you an idea of what I mean by the CRISPR method of moving genes from one position into a new plant. Imagine that I want to take a GPS system from my old car and put it in my new car. What should I do? Should I take the two cars apart, mix the parts of the car, and then pick up the new one that has the GPS system in it? Well, no, there's a slightly better way than that to do it. You unplug the GPS system from one car and plug it into the other. That's the CRISPR method of making GMOs. Unplug the gene from one organism and put it into the organism where you want it to go. You take a GPS system from an aeroplane and put it in a car. Does this mean the car's going to fly? Well, you take a gene from a fish and put it into a plant, the plant's going to swim. I mean, this is the way in which they talk. It is so unscientific and such nonsense. And yet people have been listening to this. And the thing is that when you make anything new, drug, plant, whatever it is, what's important is the product. What is the final product? It doesn't matter how you make it. If I take my wife into a clothing store and I ask her, find a nice dress that you like, she will go and look and she'll find the dress that she loves. She doesn't say, how was that made? I don't want to buy that one, it wasn't made properly. That's not what you do. You look at the quality of the product. It's either okay or it's not okay. And the same should be true for GMOs and GMO crops. It's the product that is important. That's what matters. And I think one of the problems is politicians need to learn that they should not put restrictions on kids that are really not necessary and that they don't have a good reason for doing so. Because as soon as you stop kids from being curious, you really screw them up for the rest of their lives. And I think one of the problems is many schools sort of knock the curiosity out of the children, and it's not good. It's not that difficult to give a lesson, maybe talk about a particular subject for a short period of time, and then let the kids explore that subject and ask questions and expose their own curiosity to the teacher and have the teacher answer it. And this is how kids learn. Kids are naturally curious, and that's what makes them interesting people later on. Well, I always tell kids that they should try to be as curious as they possibly can. Don't let adults stop them from being curious. Activism is a good thing. I would recommend it to everybody. If you see people misbehaving, doing the wrong things, be active. Try and stop it. And whether you're a Nobel laureate or not, you can always gather a group of people who can help you. And in our case, we can't do it by ourselves. We need politicians to help us, or we need other people in prominent places to help us. But you can do that too. There's no reason why you can't form groups of people, be activists, and fight for what is right.